Namaste, crypto aficionados and my fellow capitalists. Thank you so much for joining in. I have Ylchema with me, and he is the project lead from One in Investments. And we are going to talk to him today about his project. Welcome,
Hel-
Ylchema.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So your project is One Investments, and it's a very intriguing project. Maybe before that, just give us a introduction about yourself and why you decided. How did you come up with this idea of doing this project?
Yes, so I live in Paris, where I have a work in public relations. So my job is around communication at the moment. I have a background in law and political sciences, so I am not the dev in the team. I started investing in cryptocurrency in August last year. I quickly starting to buy some altcoins and then going into some DeFi projects, including some home forks and quite a lot of nodes. And what has been striking me is that there is a lack of sustainable projects. Most of them will rise and fall within a few days or a few weeks, some in a few months, but it's quite uncommon to go for more than a month on a new project. And in itself, it's fair. I mean, if you know that it's a pump and dump, you play the game, you win, you lose. But if it's transparent, I think it's fine. The problem is that quite often they will say, okay, we are super sustainable and so on, but our APY is 1,000,000% for some home forks. And you cannot be sustainable when you have this APY. So what I think is a problem is the lack of transparency and even some untruthful marketing. And this is something that we want to address. And another thing is that if you want to do some traditional finance, you need to have some master's degree or some state-regulated training. But if you want to enter crypto, you open a MetaMask wallet, and then you have all the certifications that you need, but you don't have the knowledge about how it works. And I think that a lot of people lose money because they don't have the training, they don't have the emotional management, which is also very important when we trade. And I've also been quite let's say marked or emotionally impacted when I saw some people who had been leveraging their time at Wonderland because the Saifu and Daniel said, don't worry, we have this backing price, the price will never go below. And I saw some comments saying, I trusted you and now I lost my life savings. Yeah. And this is very bad because they were not playing a game, they were trusting. And their trust has been broken and they've lost a lot of money, which was extremely important for them. So I've been wondering, okay, how can we make an home fork that is sustainable? I've been thinking, and my conclusion is that we cannot, because when there is an APY, there is token dilution, and when there is token dilution, the price will eventually decrease, because the market is limited. There is only so much money that can flow in. So I took this logic to its conclusion, which is if I want to create something sustainable, the APY should either be zero or be or coming from some utilities. So I was thinking, okay, how can we make a project that has a 0% APR and be attractive? If we don't create more tokens, then the price should increase. And because it's not a Ponzi, I don't want to make a Ponzi, we need to find some ways where, okay, if you come in early, of course you benefit more, but if you come in later, you will not lose either. We want a win-win scenario for everyone involved. And so we've created this three tokens model. The first is Scepter. You buy it higher than what it's worth. You sell it below what it is worth, but the margin is used to increase the price for everyone in there. So when you buy, you benefit everyone who is holding, and this is the case in pretty much every other protocol. But when you sell your Scepter, you also benefit everyone involved. And this is fairly unique because usually if you sell a token, its price will decrease. But at Wand, if you sell, the price increases for everyone. So, and because this token is 100% backed by stablecoins, its price cannot decrease. Well, it can, but only if stablecoins become unpegged. And if that does happen, 90% of DeFi is screwed anyway. So this is a worst case scenario. We have to be aware of that, but we also hope that it will not happen.
Okay.
And we also invest our treasuries so that Scepter token increases in price as fast as possible.
Okay. Okay. So so Scepter is the token that is pegged with the USD stable coins, right?
It is backed, but like if at the beginning it is backed by one stable coin worth $1, over time it will be backed by $2, $3, $4, and so on. Okay. So it is backed, but it will increase.
Okay, okay. So that is Scepter. And then what about the Baton token as well?
So if you use Scepter, you buy it, it increases in price, then you sell it, and then you make some money. The other option is that, okay, I don't want to gain all my money at once. I want some passive income every week in my wallet. Yes. In this case, you burn your Baton, your Scepter, and you earn Baton. We invest the Baton Treasury, and we do it with low to medium risk investments. And parts of the rewards will be compounded so that the treasury will increase over time and the airdrops will increase over time as well. And parts of the rewards are airdropped as USDC to the Baton holders. It sounds a bit like a node in the sense that you give up your initial investment, but there is a major difference, which is that in a node, you will be paid in the tokens of the node. Correct. And there will be some token dilution. Here we pay you in USDC, and there is no dilution because we only give you the rewards from the investments. And instead of decreasing,
Okay, sorry. So if for that means it's 1-to-1. So if I take my Scepter and I decided to swap it for Baton, it's 1-to-1, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then Baton, I hold Baton and I will be getting rewards in USDC.
Every week, yes.
Every week. It will be airdropped to me, right?
Yes, you don't have to do anything. You just wait and you see that your wallet increases a bit.
Okay, understood, understood. Please continue. Understood.
So yeah, with the Baton Treasury, we expect that the value of the airdrops will increase over time because we compound some of the rewards. So if you get maybe $1 per week today, in 6 months, maybe you will be getting $2, $3, or $4 per week. I don't want to make predictions because it will depend on investors' behavior and how well the investments will do and how will be the market. So I don't want to. I mean, we have a very good simulator that you can use to simulate a lot of parameters. And I encourage everyone to look at this simulator because I don't have a crystal ball and I don't want to say how the market will be in a year. So I'm not taking responsibility for that. We create a model that is sound, but we don't control the Fed rates or whatever can happen in economics.
Yeah, definitely.
The third thing I would like to mention is the risk treasury. It is funded by some initial seeding, which was done just which is happening now. Actually, I mean, the people are already selected, so people cannot apply anymore, but we are collecting the money at the moment. And that risk treasury, we will invest it in high risk, high rewards investments. It is a separate treasury, so we don't risk the value or the backing of the Scepter token by doing so. But a share of the rewards from the risk treasury will go to the Scepter and the Baton treasuries. It means that if you hold Scepter, you have a token that is backed by stablecoins, so its price will not decrease. But you also benefit from high risk, high rewards investment. So we think that it's a very favorable risk to reward ratio. You don't risk your initial capital, but you win from high risk investments where you could lose a lot. And the same is true for Baton. It's a low to medium risk investment, but you also get some rewards from the risk treasury.
Okay. So you have how many treasuries do you have? One only,
3.
right? 3. Okay.
No, 3. And each treasury has its own multi-sig.
Okay. Own multi-sig. Okay. I got it. So these treasuries, are they like community governed or?
Yes. So let's say for every big investment, it can be the team, it can be a community member, it can be the treasury manager. Someone will make a suggestion. Then we discuss it with the investment analysts and the governance council. And then we have a community-wide vote. I believe that because we invest the investors' money, they should decide where we put it. If the investment is fairly small and the threshold has yet to be decided, if it is fairly small, then the community will not vote, but the governance council will decide. And the governance council is elected by the community.
Okay, I got it. And I understand the Scepter, the Baton, and the wand. What does the wand token do?
That's the big mystery. So the
Ylchema, right? The Ylchema, yeah.
So, but it can be explained.
It's the one that changes lead to gold, right? Lead.
Exactly. So yeah, the WAND protocol is named after this token because to me the WAND token it's something that is only used by the protocol, and the users don't need to use it. They cannot use it. Actually, they don't need to play around with it. And to me, it represents how there is a lot of complexity in the background. But for the user, all you need to do is buy or sell Scepter or buy and burn Scepter. So this is it's very simple to use, but there is a lot happening in the background. Now, to answer your question, WAND is minted to the same amount as Scepter. So if we mint one Scepter, we also mint one WAND. If we burn one WAND, we burn one Scepter, and the other way around. And WAND can be swapped for Scepter if needed. Hopefully that will never happen. It's only if it is liquidated as a collateral. And because it can be swapped for Scepter, it has the same value as Scepter. And we will use WAND as collateral, and we will borrow some stable coins against it, and we will invest them. So it's a way to boost our treasury to support the price increase of Scepter tokens.
Okay. Looks pretty cool. I mean, yeah, now I understand that I think now the whole thing is coming into play, because WAN actually is something like a collateral token where you will be taking that token and borrowing against your WAN, and and using that and finding what you call it, different protocols that will that will give you higher interest, higher APYs, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I got it. So it sounds pretty cool project. But with 3 tokens, I don't know. It's going to be really, really interesting. But what kind of investments are you looking at when you are looking to invest your treasuries? What have you thought about it already, or are you going to think about it once your token launches and all that? Like what kind of projects will you be investing in?
So we have one different strategy for each of our treasuries. So let's talk about them one by one. The Scepter treasury, because it's fully backed by stable coins, we will only invest in places where we can farm the stable coins. I think about some protocols like Encore, maybe Thor. Thor, they will allow us to farm some stable coins as well. Here, we want it to be low risk. We are not messing around with that one because our promise is that your token will increase in value, so we don't want it to decrease. Then we have the Baton treasury. Here it will be a mix of farming some stable coins with blue chips liquidity pairs. This way it's fairly low risk and there's still some nice APY, and also some blue chips holding with automatic rebalancing. This way we can outperform the market. Then there is the risk treasury. Here we want to do some private sales. So this is something that the average investor cannot do. But I think that with the recognition that we will have and our the size of our treasury, it's something that will be available to us. I want to do some early entries, maybe a bit of day trading, depending on our resources and how doable it is. So for the risk treasury, well, we're not really closing any doors a priori. We, of course, will do our due diligence to make sure that it's always in quality projects. But as long as it's safe, as long as it's KYC, doxed, and with the multi-sig, then we can discuss. Then whether we're talking about investing in NFTs or DeFi or even layer 1 blockchains, I mean, we're open to suggestions. The only thing we're not touching is traditional finance. We stay in cryptocurrency.
Right. Perfect. I think that's great. And I think that's what this whole project is about, looking for low risk and to medium rewards for all the investors. I think that is what this project promises, and I think it's a good idea that you have suggested. And before you go, and before I end this, I just want to say that like I try to do with everyone I meet, I want to know, what is your outlook on this crypto market in the next 3 to 4 months, because you are inside that, crypto space, you are working on projects and all that. So when you are looking, because you guys have to invest, you have to prepare, I mean, you have to be thinking, can these protocols last? Or not only that, it's the environment that we are in right now, with the war happening and all that. So what is your general outlook of the crypto market in 3 to 6 months in this period? Or is it such a long period? I don't know. But what is
It is. Well, so one thing is that the Fed is raising its rates. So this is a threat for all of the cryptocurrency markets. On the other hand, why at the beginning of the Russia and Ukraine war, the markets have been red, very red, but now they're quite green, and the war is still ongoing there. So I've been quite surprised at the resiliency of the cryptocurrency market.
Yes.
I also think that more and more we see a disconnection between cryptocurrency and traditional finance. We see some metaverse that is only in cryptocurrency and some other signs of decoupling. So I mean, what can happen in 3 to 6 months? It depends on the global economic outlook. COVID seems to be coming to an end. Hopefully, there will be no new variants. But I'm not a virologist, so this is not something I can say. So I'm pretty optimistic. I also think that for the Scepter token, even if the market conditions are bad, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because the token price will not be subjected to the law of offer and demand. So we are in a fairly unique position for that. But it will be very important for the Baton and risk treasuries. So I think it's better to think in terms of weeks.
Right.
Unless we are talking about a new technology, then we can even talk in months or years. But if we are talking about DeFi, weeks is the end goal.
Okay, my last question is, when we look at what's happening right now, especially with the USD, especially with Russia using gold now, they have already, they have gone back to peg their rubles to gold. Now we are going to deal with stable coins. Now everything is based in USD. Would it be risky going to stable coins, looking at stable coins as a part of, as a big part of our treasury? Looking at Do Kwon, and who has invested a lot of Bitcoin, right? So Do Kwon has invested so much of, I think, $1 billion, and after that he bought another tranche of Bitcoin. So different protocols are trying to buy into Bitcoin. Of course, we know Elon Musk is. So what do you think? So what do you think of the USD? Do you think it will be dethroned, or do you think we are going back into that, back to old age where we will be pegging our money back to gold? And how does this play out, as in your mind?
So I don't really think we will be pegging our currencies to gold again. Maybe in some specific circumstances, but Russia has to do it because their currency is plummeting because of the international sanctions. So this is a very context-dependent decision. I also don't think that Bitcoin will replace the national currencies. If you take Tesla, for instance, yes, they accept that we pay in Bitcoin, but how many people actually do that? It's a nice possibility, but I don't see it's happening worldwide. Also, Europe is making it mandatory for every transaction of over 1,000 euros to say who is making that transaction with name and KYC.
Yes.
So there are a lot of good reasons why cryptocurrency will not replace national currencies, at least not in the foreseeable future. But I think that cryptocurrencies it's not their role. I mean, national and international fiscal policies have their place, I think, and cryptocurrency should not completely escape that, but the laws should also understand how cryptocurrency works, so that they also leave some room for innovation.
Great. Thank you so much, Ylchema, and thank you for sharing about your project. I wish your project does very well, and I wish you all and your team. I wish you and your team the very best. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, and speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.